So you just got a new hot tub, you put water in it, you've turned the power on, and nothing's happening. What do? Well, you have what's called an airlock. Most spa pumps don't have the ability to move air. They're built to move water. So when air gets trapped in your pump, when you fill up the pump will come on and hum, but nothing happens in the tub. So let's talk about some of the simplest ways to get an airlock out of your new hot tub or your hot tub that you just drained and cleaned for the first time.
So if you have an Island Series hot tub, the first thing you can do is open the waterfall above your filter area and see if that will help the air bubble up out of the pump. Once you've opened the waterfall, then what you want to do is turn on the pump and see if that gets the water flowing. If the water starts flowing, you've got your air bubbles out of the pump, you've got your airlock out, everything else should start running and working from here. One simple method that sometimes works to get an airlock out of your hot tub is turning the pump on and off. So just start with turning the pump on, turning the pump off, turning the pump on, turning the pump off. Do that for a minute or two. As you're doing it, if you notice some bubbles are working out of the jets, that means you're getting closer and closer to getting that pump run. So just turn it on and off, and eventually you'll burn that air out and your pump will start to run. Another method to remove an airlock from a hot tub would be, if you have a diverter valve, is to loosen the diverter valve. Usually the diverter valve is the highest point on the hot tub. So by loosening the cap on this, any trapped air in the plumbing will come to the surface and bubble out through the diverter valve. Once you've released the air, put the cap back on, and then turn on your pump and see if you are successful. Remember, when you do try to loosen the diverter valve, it's always best to have that pump or the power turned off. Otherwise, you can get a geyser of water coming out when you get the top of this. The next step is to move on to opening up the cabinet to access your pumps. So the first thing you need to do is open up the cabinet. All right, so now that we're in the equipment area, we see we have several pumps. They've got pipes and valves and fittings and all sorts of stuff. So the first thing we want to identify is which one of our pumps isn't pumping. So the easiest way to do that is turn your pump on and listen to find out which pump is running. So in this case, this is our pump that's running right now. The easiest way to get an airlock out of a pump is to loosen the union fitting at the highest point of the pump. And by loosening this fitting, we're going to allow the air bubbles to come up out of the pump and leak out of the fitting here. So now what we can do is we can loosen the union fitting at the top of the pump. Sometimes you can grab that union with your hand and just give it a little turn until some water comes out. Once some water comes out, you know that the air has been released and your pump is ready to go. Now, you turn the pump on and we've got water flowing through our system. Also, depending on how the setup of your equipment is, there is air bleeders on the pump that you can loosen, and there's also unions at the heater and the front of the pump as well. Basically what we're trying to do is get any trapped air or a large portion of the trapped air out of the pump so water can come in so that the pump will then take over and start to push the water through the system. Well, hopefully you tried the waterfall or you tried the pump and you were able to get the air out and your spa is running and heating and working now. However, for some reason, if you've tried these things, you're still unable to get the pump running or to get the spa heating, certainly feel free to give us a call and we'll send one of our service technicians out to give you a hand.